and the Americans, they created their government from the Bible, using the Bible. They saw the systems of the scripture, they read it in the Bible, and they simply took the power of the Bible and used it to conquer the earth. And the blacks and Hispanics, why can't we do the same thing? Why can't we use the same manuscript, the same Bible, the same diagram, and conquer this earth, brother? We can do it without the violence that the oppressor used. We could do it simply by obeying the Most High, by having a rank and order structure, instead of every nut running their goddamn stupid mouths, instead of everybody thinking they're the leader of black people and then failing black people, instead of everybody taking an oath to serve America and try to help black people, instead of everybody thinking that they're an individual, instead of different denominations, instead of different breakoff groups. Why don't every black and Hispanic, if you want unity so much, why don't you join the person who has the leadership, who is the leader of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, instead of trying to do your own thing? Doing your own thing doesn't work. The Most High God gives orders, and the angels of the Lord carry out those orders. And because of that, guess what the angels of the Lord are known as? The angels of the Lord. You understand? That's why when we speak at camp, Commander Junior Hunter is saying what we say. Does everybody understand that? That's a weird concept when you are a nut in the world and you're an individual. But for men who are soldiers, someone who understands civility and order and government, someone who understands that, knows that if the vice president says something, guess whose mouth that she's speaking from? Guess whose mouth Kamala Harris speaks from? The mouth of Joe Biden. Do y'all understand that? If Kamala Harris says something, that means Joe Biden approves of it. Why? Because she is his number two. She is under him. She's under his rank and order. If the military goes to war right now, Jay, whose order was it that they went to war?
Right, it was the president's.
Whose?
The president.
It was the president. Even though the general, even though the 4-star general, even though the admiral of the 6th Fleet and 5th Fleet and 4th Fleet, even though they will be known as men who won combat and won tours and done this, the man who put them up to the task was the president of the United States, because he is the commander-in-chief. And that's so very important to understand about this Bible, because when you understand that about the Bible, you understand that you are out of order when you are not in the Isupk. You are out of order if you don't take your orders from the man of the Lord. You're out of order. You're not in order. And the Bible says this, that the Most High is not the author of confusion. If you are out of order, what does that mean? We are confused. If there's different denominations, guess what that means, Jay? We are confused. That's what's so important to understand, Doc. If you want so much black and Hispanic unity, black and brown unity, then you can't have different denominations. You can't have different beliefs. You can't have different leaders. There's one leader. One leader, then there are men that are under him that take his orders and that complete his orders. Just like how the Most High God gives the orders to the angels, and the angels of God, they complete those orders. It's the exact same way. So when we say the Most High, brother, it could be an angel doing it, but it's the Most High that does it, because the angels of the Lord belong to him and they complete his orders. It's the same with the men in the Isupk. We go out to camp to speak. That is from the mouth of Commander General Yohana. Everybody understand? So when you say, we want to speak to Commander General Yohana, what would your response be, Elisha? If somebody says, well, I want to speak to Commander General Yohana, what would you say?
You talking to him.
You speaking to him. Give the brother a hand. That's the angel. That's a rank and order. So you can say, well, the Most High did this, even though it's the angels that did it. Why? Because the angels belong to the Most High. They are under his rank and order. Everybody understand? Keep going, Doc. That was it for the English? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead, Elisha. You up.
Kind of the kind. Genesis chapter 2, verse 5. Get there in the Hebrew. Wakal Shayach Hashadah Toram Yahaya Baratazah Wakal Aishab Hashadah Toram Yatazamaka or Yatazamaka. Yatazamaka.
Mhm.
Yatazamaka.
No, that's not. It'll be Mach. So Yatazamak.
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 There you go.
Kaya la'a hama tayar. Yahweh. Alahayim. Al ha'rataza wa Adam. Is that right? Wa Adam. Ayan. La'ai bad. Af. Dama.
Ha'adama.
Ha'adama. Verse 6. Wa'ad. Ya'ila. Man. Ha'rataza. Wahashakwa. Wahashkwa.
Where you at?
Last word, first sentence.
Wahashakwa Khan.
Wahashakwa. Af. Kal. Panya. Ha'adama. Verse 7.
You stopping at 11.
Kind of the kind. Waya yataza ra. Yahweh Alahayim Af. Ha'adam. Ipar. Man. Ha'adama. Waya pach. Ba'a payawa. Nashamath. Kayayam. Waya haya. Ha'adam. Lanapash. Kaya. Verse 8. Wayatai. Yahweh Alahayim. Gan. Ba'ai dan. Makodam. Wayasham. Sham af. Ha'adam. Ashar. Yatazar. Is that right?
Gone.
Yatazar. Verse 9. Wayataza mach. Yahweh Alahayim. Man. Ha'adama. Kal. Aitazah. Nakamad. Lamara. Lamara. Watawab. Lama Kal. Wa'aitazah. Hakayayam.
Hakayayam.
Bathawak. Hagan. Wa'aitazah. Hada'aith. Tawab. Warai. Verse 10. Wanahar. Yataza'a. Ma'aidan. Lahasha. Korwath. Af. Hagan. Wama. Sham. Yaparad. Wayahaya. La'arabai. Ra'ashyam. Verse 11. Sham ha'akad payashwan hawa'a hasabab kal arataza akawa hakawayala hakawayala.
There you go.
Ashar Sham Hazahab.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Most High power had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground.
Go ahead.
Can I get a breakdown in that? There was.
Go ahead. You gotta make sure you raise your hand. Go ahead.
I want to break.
So this is what you'll do. You can say, Salakia, sir, but I have a question. You can do that because you up here with us, so you don't always have to raise your hand, but just say Salakia, sir, I have a question. Go ahead.
I have a question on. It said, and there was not a man to till the ground.
Okay, read it again. Read that part again.
Want me to read the whole?
No, just from the Most High had not caused it to rain.
For the Most High power had not caused it to rain upon the earth, And there was not a man to till the ground.
So what does that mean? There was no man to till the ground.
That's what I'm
Were
asking.
there men on the earth at this time?
Yeah, he created the man.
God, he created mankind. What were they doing at this time?
I have no idea.
You know anything about history or geography? Did you take that class ever? In school ever? Did you take the class history or geography?
I know about early man.
Okay, what about early man? Do you know?
Early man was not that bright.
Why do you say that?
This was maybe a stone age of early man.
There you go. I'll give him a hand. Right? When the Bible said there is no man to till the ground, meaning there is not someone who is sentient or sophisticated enough to work the ground. Right? To be a farmer, to till the ground is to tend to the field, to grow the food that needs to be grown so people can eat. At this time, what were men eating? Anything they could find, Doc. Rats, horses, raccoons. They would just hit something over the head and just take it and kill it and eat it. How were they marrying each other? By just raping women, Doc. By forcing a woman to have sex with them. That's how. If anybody knows anything about science and geography and anthropology, am I lying, Doc? This is in books. Early man were troglodytes. They were people who weren't sentient, Doc. They were just a bunch of animalistic people who, didn't have a language, didn't speak. They granted like that. I'm not saying they crawled around on all fours, but they did have animalistic practices. They ate whatever they could find. They had sex with whatever had a hole in it, Doc. When that rod got hard, brother, just like you today, you just have sex with anything you can find, brother. You would pay some nasty slut on Instagram money to have sex with them like little baby. And then have a baby with them. Because you're just disgusting like early man was disgusting. And the Most High said what? There was no what?
There was no man to till the ground.
There was no man to work the field. There was not a man. And that's so spiritual. Remember, this is a black and Hispanic book. This book is for Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What does that mean? There was no man to till the ground. Don't people say this today? Women say it a lot. I need a man. When women say that, what do they mean? They mean a rough, hardcore brother. Someone who could handle them. Well, in this context, the Lord said, I need someone that could handle this. I need someone that can take this load, can take this job on. I need a man, someone who knows what the hell they're doing. In order to have that, he has to be sentient. During a time where it wasn't popular for, no one was sentient. No one was sophisticated. Everyone ate horses instead of rode them from destination. How did man get from destination to destination at this time? Walked. Why in the hell would you walk 5,000 miles when there's horses and camels and donkeys and asses that you can ride? They didn't know that. Why? Because they didn't have that in their mind. In their mind, they had very base needs, which is food, water, and shelter. They didn't do algebra. They didn't calculate the distance from Earth to the moon. That didn't come until after the time of Adam, where men became sentient. Men became sophisticated, where you could add and subtract, where you could divide. You can create artificial intelligence machines that could make music. Did y'all hear about that out there? Machine, that's something called AI. Have you heard that, Doc? There are AI, artificial intelligence, where they create music, brother, that have never been created. Movies and stories that have never been written. And you are getting high. You are just early man. You have base needs. There's no man to till the ground. How is that compared to today's talk and today's world? The ISUPK. We need men, not niggas that just get high and put their rods in any hole. You're something that we don't need. We need brothers who are sincere about the work of the Lord, who will sacrifice their personal desires to do it. We need a man to till the ground, Doc. In this school here in Kansas City, we need a man to till this ground, Doc. We need brothers. Give yourself a hand. The young man here, the brother is here trying to till this ground in Kansas City. He heard the call and he answered. He came in, Doc. He is going to till this ground today at camp in about 13 more minutes, Doc. We're going to go out here. We're going to till that ground and wake up the dry bones and to do the work of the Lord. Well, the Lord needed someone to do his work a long time ago during the time of Adam. There was no man to till the ground, meaning that there was no one who could handle it. That's what that means. He needs someone who could handle this work, who is sophisticated enough, who is sincere enough to do this work. But he didn't see anyone out there sophisticated enough to do it. Why? Because they were just hitting rats. They were just killing rats and hitting horses over the head so they could eat them, instead of riding the horse from destination to destination. there was no man to till the ground, Doc. There was no man that was worthy enough to do the work that the Lord needed. You understand? Do you understand, Doc? You're verbal. You have to say a verbal response.
Khan out of Wakan.
Okay,
Sir.
no sweat, Doc. Go ahead, keep going.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Most High Power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
There you go. That's what I just broke down, is it not? So there was no man into the ground, meaning that there was nobody sentient enough to do the work that the Lord needed done. So what did he do? Chose a brother, a black man named Adam, to breathe the breath of life. Does that mean that the Lord, like in The Godfather? In The Godfather, at the end of the first one, when Michael was going in there to Connie and D'Amico's christening, to see his niece christened so he could become the Godfather, that priest, that child molesting priest in that movie, he blew 3 times on that baby. Do you know what that blowing represents in the Christian church? It represents them blowing the breath of life on Adam. That did not happen. Once again, this is niggas speaking in the Bible. So in black men who wrote the Bible, the Lord didn't blow on Adam. The breath of life is symbolic for coming alive. Because before being sentient, mankind was just dead beings. Just bodies that something inhabited. We weren't sentient. We didn't have the creation of math and sciences and reading and astrology and astronomy. You didn't have that before Adam. You had a bunch of troglodytes that were crawling around, that was eating rats, that was raping women and eating horses. That's what men were doing before Adam got the breath of life from the Most High God. You have something you want to say, Elisha?
So like it, sir, if I may, because what you're bringing out is so heavy, and the Bible says it right here. When it says he brought man from the dust, where is the dust? You understand? When Christians would take this like, well, he made them out of mud.
Right.
He poured some water on the mud and formed them out of clay. And this is not talking about
That's right.
the beginning of mankind, because we know in the 5th day he created mankind.
That's right.
And like the Outer One is bringing out, men at this time didn't have the knowledge of the Most High God. He chose a black man by the name of Adam.
Right.
And he brought him out of the dust.
Right.
The dust is
a low state.
A lower state.
That's right.
You understand? That's where the dust is. He brought him up from that dust and gave him the wisdom, like the example the Christian church did horribly. The Lord didn't breathe the life in the air. Came from, I don't even know what they believe, but it wasn't magic.
Right.
You understand? It was spiritual.
That's right.
Something a Christian would never understand. That's why they don't understand the Bible.
Good brother.
He brought Adam up from the dust, man. A lower state.
And that low state is what you in right now.
Kind of the kind. I was in it.
Damn right. Damn right, brother. We all were in it before we made Commanding Journey Honor. We were all in dust, just in the gutter. Low brothers use that today. I came from the gutter, meaning I came from
in the mud.
Adam in the mud. I got it out the mud.
Got it out the mud.
Adam got it out the mud. Literally, he got it out the mud. Spiritually, he got it out the mud. Why do I say that? Because he was from the dust. He was a low state. I dust your shoulders off. He had to rise up.
That's right.
He had to come up. How? Was it the Lord having a procedure on the ground? No. Some brother in the world, he slowly but surely remember, this isn't at one time. When it says this happened where the Most High brought Adam up from the dust, don't think of it as if it happened in a split moment. Right. No, Adam, it took time. Like all of us coming to truth, it takes time for us to learn the truth. Adam was grunting, and then before you know it, he's walking. The Lord starts to show him signs of things. He brings him up from the dust. He blows that breath of life in this brother, meaning symbolically that this brother starts to understand, I don't need to eat this horse. Adam start thinking, hold on, whoa. Why are we eating horses when I could ride this horse? Why am I eating a donkey when I can ride it when there's cattle here? Why am I eating some slimy catfish that is at the bottom of the river and eats the disgusting fowl at the bottom of a river? Why not eat the fishes with scales on it? Because they're the cleanest fish in the sea.
Right.
Why would I eat a clam? Why would I do that? Why would I do it when they eat all the nasty, clean the ocean? So Adam had the sentientness. That's the word you need to break this scripture down. Put this in your notes. Sentient, right? When the Most High when Adam received the breath of life from the Most High, it was Adam becoming sentient. That's exactly what happened now. That's the word you need to break this down, and that's exactly what happened. Before this, mankind wasn't sentient. We were base. You understand? Now Adam And this brother, he's sentient. He realizes the mysteries of life, right? He understands the mysteries of life. He sees the stars, and the Lord at this time communicates through the stars. He doesn't do it anymore, but at this time he communicated with the stars, and that's how he communicated with Adam.
That's right.
You understand? So over time, this is a brother that's just coming into the truth. That's and this time Adam is just coming into the truth. He's coming in. He's learning. He's just like you. He's just like us when we first came in here. As young men, not knowing a damn thing.
That's right.
As a young man, you don't know anything, and as a trooper, you don't know anything until you start to keep learning and keep coming to class and keep going to camp. And then before you know it, you know something. You start to learn something. You start to learn the mysteries of life. You start to know who the devil the Bible speaks of is. You start to understand what to eat and what not to eat. You understand what to put your rod in and what not to put your rod in. You know what you can do and what you can't do. You learn what kind of slaveries you can have, how the way you should speak, the way you shouldn't speak. You become a new creature like Adam. You become something that's transformed, Doc, that is sentient, because in the world, Doc, you're just a weed addict. You're just a drug addict who just puts his rod inside of any hole he sees. That's what you are until you get the breath of life in the UPK. It's the same thing with Adam, Doc. Everybody understand? Keep going, Doc.
Verse 8. And the Most High Power planted a garden eastward in Eden.
Why is this called a garden? This is going to be tremendous in your understanding of the Bible. So you don't take things the way the Christians break them down as very magical and just a bunch of gay. It's just a gay place out. They think that, look, their depictions, the pictorial depictions of the Garden of Eden is just it's like a place that you would imagine the gayest people to dwell. The way the Christian church breaks down the Garden of Eden, now you would think the most LGBTQIA people
it's like San Francisco
will be there. Like, they think it's like San Francisco, but with fruit everywhere. They think it's like a bunch of trees everywhere with just fruit. Why is this place called a garden, Doc? Does anybody know? Go ahead, Doc.
Because there's somebody now there to tend it.
Nope, that's not why it's called a garden. What happens in a garden? Go ahead.
So everything they needed.
Everything grows in the garden.
Everything grows.
And that's the reason why it's called a garden.
The
The Garden of Eden, now, geographically, is the so-called Middle East. It spans all the way from Egypt, all the way to the 4 rivers that's bordered that you're going to read about here in the next few verses. The Jordan River and this river, the Euphrates River. Those rivers that border what they call the Arab Spring, where those Arabs are in our land, that's the Garden of Eden. Because everything grows. Kazakhstan, to Tajikistan, which is a beautiful, all of Asia. Eurasia, I think is what they call it now. That is a beautiful place, Doc. Don't think of China when you think of Asia. Go look up Tajikistan, Doc. It is amazing. The clearest waters. You could literally take a cup, put it in that water, Doc, and drink it. It's so pure and so clear. Everything grows. The best sheep, the best goats, the best lambs, the best buffalo, the best everything is over there in Tajikistan, Doc, and in Saudi Arabia where oil is and the sun. You have all the seasons over there, Doc. I know you think because of TV, if you never been anywhere, you think that over there is so hot all the time, brother. They have winter colder than Chicago. They have winters. They have beautiful mountains. It is gorgeous. What in the hell do you want Africa for? Africa is disgusting, Doc. It is absolutely disgusting. Nothing grows in Africa. 95% of the continent, nothing can grow because it is a desert. Not the Middle East, Doc. The Middle East isn't a desert. The Middle East and that Tajikistan and parts of Asia, that is the biblical Garden of Eden because everything grows and it is the prettiest place on the earth. It is the most prettiest place. I've been in places over there, brother. It is absolutely breathtaking. And I go over there and you say, God, what is all of these Arabs doing over here in our land? That is a beautiful place that don't belong to those people that live there. That place belongs to you, black man. Like America, take the prettiest place in America. Take Montana or somewhere, or New Mexico, Arizona, somewhere that's just pristine on one of those big ranches, and times that by 10. That's Tajikistan. That's Kyrgyzstan. That's Afghanistan. That's Iraq. Talk about hunting. Oh my God, brother, do you know that oppressors will pay $50,000 just to go hunt over there because they have the best game over in the Garden of Eden. That's why it's called a garden, because everything that you want is there that grows. All of the fruit, all of the vegetables. There are fruits and vegetables over there that you couldn't even get on the Western Hemisphere. You couldn't get in countries in North and Central and South America. Why? Because it's a garden. It's so beautiful and everything just grows. It's amazing, and it belongs to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And that's the Garden of Eden you read in the Bible right now. That Garden of Eden is a place that exists right now. You understand? It's not some it's not some little San Francisco with a bunch of trees and a bunch of gates. It's just the church breaks everything down to be LGBTQ. And so when they depict the Garden of Eden, it's like a bunch of vines everywhere. That's what you think, don't it? When you close your eyes right now and you think of the Garden of Eden, you think of some place with a white naked man and a white naked woman, and they have vines around them, and they have a reaching for an apple. And when they reach for an apple, in the background is a bunch of greenery and that is a bunch of Roman garbage. The Garden of Eden is a place that exists right now. It's called the Middle East.
Middle East.
It's called the Middle East, borders by those rivers all the way to Egypt. It stretches. It's a far place. It's not just the Middle East, but it's that entire region over there where white people and Arabs live right now that are destroying the land the way the white man destroyed North America. It's the same thing, guy. And we have to get that place back, guy. We're going to get that place back when Christ returns. Keep going, guy.
Verse 8. And the Most High Power planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there he put a man whom there he put the man whom he had formed. Verse 9. And out of the ground made the Most High Power to grow every tree that is pleasant to sight.
To the sight.
To the sight. And good for food.
You see that? Keep going.
The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. Verse 11. The name of the first is Pison. Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah. Where there is gold.
You want to clap it up?
Oh.
Alright.
You trying to get the dictionary?
Yeah, it's out of hands. I can take this pocket. Go ahead, you can read it like
Kind of the kind. Genesis chapter 2, verse 12 in the Hebrew. Wazahah, Ratazah, Hahawa'ah, Tawab, Sham, Haba, Dalach, Wa'aban, Hashaham. Verse 13. Washam, Hanahar, Hashanya, Gayakawan, Hawa'a, Hasa, Wabab, Kau, Rataza, Kawash. Verse 14. There we go. Washam, Hanahar, Hashala, Yashya, Kadakwal, Hawa'a, Hahalak, Badama, Ashawar, Wahanahar, Wahanahar, Harabayaya, Hawa Parath. Verse 15. Wayakwak Yahweh Alahayim Av Ha-Adam.
Ha-Adama.
It's not a at the end.
Oh, Salakia. You right, Salakia.
Ha-Adam Wayana Kahawa Bagan Idawan La Ibada La Ibada La Ibada La Ibada Wala Shamar. What's that? Wala
Shamarah.
Lama Shamarah. Verse 16. Wayatazawa Yahweh Alahayim Al Ha-Adam La Amar Makar Aitazah Hagan Akal Athakal. Verse 17. Wama Aitazah Hada'aith Tawab War'ai La'a Da'akal Mama Nawah Kaya Bayawam Allah Akalak Mama Nawah Mawaf Damawaf. Verse 18. Wayamor Yahweh Alahayim La'a Tawab Hayawath Ha'adam Labawah Aish. What was that? Aisha. Lawa Izar Kanagadwa.
There you go. So that Havilah the brother read about earlier is in southern Arabia.
Southern Arabia.
So once again, that's a spot over there in the Garden of Eden. That is beautiful, that everything grows, and it's just amazing. And it makes me sick to think what we did to lose it, because it's such an amazing place that we should be ruling from right now. Everything we would want is black people fight about land, and don't black people talk about that all the time? We need more land. We need more of this. We need beautiful land. We need this. I heard a brother, some nut, that leader of that old NFAC or we ain't messing around. The cats that shot theyself when they were marching 3 years ago for the protest of George Floyd.
Like the Black Panthers?
Yeah, something like the Black Panthers. They try to be the Black Panthers. I don't know what the hell they do. But that's because they all leave. After someone gets elected, they leave. And that cat said, well, we'll take Texas. Black people will take Texas. He's talking to the American government, talking about black on a Instagram live, as if America is going to give you anything. What you should do, is you should focus on obeying the Lord, so you can receive Havilah. You understand? So you can receive the goddamn Garden of Eden, brother. You can receive all of that beautiful, amazing land over there with food and with. There is no food shortage. Not over there, brother. There's plenty of food. There's something called, and I want to go hunt one of these one day, brother. This is my dream. I don't normally tell anybody this. I don't think anybody knows this about me. But there is something called a doll sheep, a bighorn sheep, and they have plenteous, brother. It costs about $30,000 to $50,000, but they have so much. It's insane. Over there in Marco Polo, it's called the Marco Polo sheep. You can look it up. And they are just gorgeous, and I heard the meat is amazing, and I just want to go, brother. I just want to go. And when you look at the videos, it's just amazing. And I don't know how in the world we gave that up. We gave that up to be here on Prospect. To have drug corners on Prospect, it makes you sick to think about it. When you see the views over there, brother, and you look at the animals and the fruits and the different teas they have over there, that's where damn frankincense and myrrh comes from. That's the only place you can get frankincense and myrrh is over there in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
Only place you can get a Marco Polo sheep is over there in the Garden of Eden. There's nothing that you can't get there. Everything that's delicious and wonderful. And just imagine black and Hispanic women over there just dressed in modest, and just you over there in some castle somewhere, and you over there in some place in some beautiful, amazing part of land that you own. Say you own 50,000 acres full of just slaves of different nations everywhere on your land, and they tending to it. They picking your cotton. They picking the frankincense and myrrh. Say you a brother that in the kingdom, brother, you have a frankincense and myrrh business, And they just all doing your frankincense and myrrh. Your kids get to go to school on your land. You have a place that you will be able to see your brothers and sisters. Every day is like the Passover. Everybody keeps the high holy days. There is no rape there. Like, why in the hell would you give that up for prospect? You gave that up to put your rod inside of a white woman? Like, come on, Ak. Like, we have fallen so far from the Most High. It is ridiculous, Ak.
It's like, don't forget that weed I don't want.
I mean, just to smoke weed, you give up everything to have a bump of weed, Ak.
We give it all.
You would give that up? That is a dream. That is heaven. That Middle East stock, that Tajikistan, the Garden of Eden, biblically, that place is heaven, brother. It is heaven. And you gave it up for what? To smoke weed? Brother, we need to serve the Lord, Ak. We need to serve the Most High. Go ahead, read what you got, Ak.
You know where you started?
12, right?
Come on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 12. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone.
Plenty of gold, Jay. Ain't that what we... Gold, man. We need to get some gold. We got to invest in cryptocurrency. Look, them grills, the brother got. Get them grills. He got. Look, get them grills. He got in the upper hand. That's some King Solomon grills, and brothers love that gold and jewelry. That's our culture. Imagine if you have an abundance of it, brother. Look, you see them headpieces his brother got. His rib makes the best headpieces. Give her a hand. Imagine she was able to. Imagine she taught some slaves from the nation of Moab in the kingdom out. In that land over there that you're going to have on your plantation over there in Tajikistan, full of Marco Polo sheep, and she teaches them Moabites how to make the baddest headpieces with real gold.
Right.
Gold, it's so much over there, it'll make you sick. So much gold and diamonds, Ak, that you would just go crazy, and you gave it up. What did they give it up for, Jay? So they can put their rod in an Instagram star, in some Instagram hole. So they can smoke weed and get high. You are disgusting. You have no shame. You would risk everything for marijuana. Why don't you risk everything for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians?
That's right.
Why don't you do that, man? So that one day we can go back to the Garden of Eden. Read.
Verse 13. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. Verse 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Verse 15. And the Most High Power took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Verse 16. And the Most High Power commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. Verse 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die.
Now this is
I was
so like, no, I was gonna ask, was this the last verse?
No, 18 is the last verse.
Okay, let him read 18.
Cut it to Khan.
And then you can say what you're gonna say, Elisha.
Cut it to Khan.
Verse 18.
Okay, Khan.
Verse 18. And the Most High Power said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him.
You will read it.
Met for him.
You will read that. I will make him and help me. That help me is together.
Help me.
Khan, go ahead, read it again. Just that last part.
I will make him a helpmeet for him.
All right, go ahead, clap it up. All right, Elisha, you had a question? Go
Cut
ahead.
it to Khan, sir. So in the garden, when it's talking about all these other trees, you know, the ones that we can eat freely from and the ones that, of course, we were forbidden to eat from. I know it's not talking about an apple or pineapple or some garbage like that. So are these trees like representing other nations?
The trees represent other nations, governments.
Other governments.
Other nations. Now remember, I said at this time, this was a period of time. Once again, don't think of Adam being raised up in one day and then he goes to the garden the next day. This is a period of time. Well, guess what else happens over this period of time? Mankind, they start to do what? They start to form, what is that word called? Politics. No, they start to be together. They start to form alliances.
Nations. Oh, kind of.
So you have one nation that is together because geographically they are in close proximity. So you have Sudanese, you got these nations over here, you got this, you have the Assyrians, you have the Babylonians, and they all begin to do what? They're not sentient like Adam, or they're not on Adam's level because they don't have the truth. They don't have the things the Lord has given Adam. But they do begin to, they start making what's called discoveries, right? These are things you could just look up. It's in Esau talks about in his anthropology, right? In science and geography. They make discoveries. So you have nations or people that are, because of their proximity to each other, they have a tree. There's a tree, which means that this is a nation of people. A government is the people who rule that nation, and so the trees biblically are governments of nations, but these trees are the nations of people. You understand? These aren't physical trees, of course, but these trees are other nations. And the Most High, through the stars, is speaking to Adam, and he's teaching Adam, you can't eat of these trees, right? There are other trees on the earth at this time, meaning there's the tree of, who did I say earlier? The Babylonians. There's a tree of the Assyrians. There's a tree of this people, that people, what have you. Those trees you can't eat of. But this tree you can eat of, right? There's other trees you can eat of. This tree you can't, right? That's the rules and the guidelines of being able to have that Garden of Eden or that land that's over there. That's your stipulation. That's your ultimatum. If you don't eat this tree, then guess what? You could stay in this land. You can live in the Garden of Eden. Belongs to you. This is your inheritance. But if you do eat of these trees, if you start to behave like these people, if you start to do the things these other nations, these other trees do, guess what happens? You don't get the Garden of Eden anymore. Now the Arabs in 2023 are going to have the Garden of Eden, and they're going to defecate in the Jordan River. That's what they're going to do. So these trees represent other nations, and that tree of good and evil was not even a tree. The tree of good and evil was is another metaphor to represent taking on the culture of other nations of people. Even when the Bible says the tree of good and evil, because guess what? If you didn't know what the evil was, you wouldn't do it. But because now you know what the evil is, you have the ability to know the consequences and the repercussions as well as the reward. And the Lord, the Most High, never wanted man or Adam, the Adamites. He never wanted the Adamites to know the consequences. He just wanted you to know the rewards. Because that's how loving the Most High God is for his chosen people. And you remember that. Go ahead. You had a question?
So when it said, remember you said, this was over time.
It was over time.
So right. When it said that in Ethiopia, at that time the land was called Ethiopia. So it's telling you that it wasn't just land anymore. This is Ethiopia. Is that
right? Meaning, that's a good question. Meaning that these places have biblical names. That name, if you read it in the Hebrew, have him read that again in the Hebrew. Where is that verse? Okay, verse 13.
Go back to verse 13.
God. Let's see what that is in the Hebrew. Okay. It is Kawash. Kawash.
Oh, you already got it?
Kawash is the Ethiopian Hebrew. So once again, Hebrew, as you know, if you don't know, is a heavenly tongue. It's a heavenly language. It's the language the Most High speaks, the angels, the Christ speaks up there in heaven. It's a heavenly language. That's a holy tongue. That's why it's called the Lashawan Kodash. And so Kawash in the Hebrew is Ethiopia. That's what it was. That's the Hebrew name it was given. So of course, when this is translated, it's translated to say Ethiopia. In Hebrew, it's Kawash. Yes, it has a name. Everything has a name. Why? Why does everything have a name? Who named it?
The Most High, right?
No. We just read this. Who was given power and authority to name everything, to put everything in its place? We just read it.
The Most High Power?
No. We just read it. Go to the question you asked earlier. Go to verse 6. Right?
1 and 6?
2 and 6.
2 and 6.
Yeah, go up to verse 6. I'm sorry. Go to verse 7.
You want me to read it?
Please. This is going to answer your question.
Verse 7.
Or answer my question.
And the Most High Power formed man of the dust.
Who did he form?
Man.
So who is this man we talking about here?
Adam.
And what was Adam's job?
To till the ground.
And to do what else? What else did the Lord put Adam in charge of?
All that creepeth upon the earth.
Everything. Everything. Give him a hand. The Lord put Adam in charge of everything. Meaning Adam gave the names to animals. Before Adam, there wasn't a name. People just saw something and just ate it. Had sex with it. It wasn't names. Adam was the sentient. Once again, that's why I broke it down like that. You need that word to break this down. To break the creation down. Sentient. Adam was the first man who was sentient, sophisticated. You understand? And so Adam was responsible for naming things, naming places, naming animals, naming the star, not naming the stars, naming this thing, naming this, naming that, naming that, naming this. This fish is called a trout. This fish is called this, whatever it is in Hebrew, of course, because that's what Adam spoke. This is this. This is that, right? That's what you need. That's what you need, Doc. You need sentient. All right? Go ahead. There you go, verse 20. That's the precept, right? Go ahead and read it. Or no, you don't want to read it because we didn't read it today. But that's what you need, You need that. You need sentient, and you need verse 20. He named everything. So that Kawash, Ethiopia, guess who named it?
Adam.
Adam named everything, Adam gave everything a name, right? So now, what was your question?
My question was originally, when he said Ethiopia, was he meaning that the people of Ethiopia?
Now go back to that scripture. Verse 13. And the name of the second river is Gihon, the same as it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. That's a river he's speaking about in that verse.
Okay.
That's a river that encompasseth, meaning that it goes around Ethiopia. Okay, it compasseth it, meaning it's in Ethiopia, it goes around Ethiopia. That's what that means. You understand? This is not talking about the people of Ethiopia. This is speaking about a river named Gihon that goes, that compasseth Ethiopia. You understand? Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Most High Christ. Most High Christ. And guess who named it the river? Adam. Right? Those rivers, all of those things, it's just Adam, brother. The work of Adam. He named everything that was living, that was on the earth at that time, because that was his job. That was the ground that needed to be tilled. The work of the Lord. Right? Not just the physical, literal ground that needs to be planted, the things that need to be planted, but the work that needed to be done on the earth. The Lord needed that man to be risen up so he could complete the work of the Lord. You understand? Remember, the Most High ain't getting off that throne to do anything. So he establishes chosen people and has angels that do the work for him. Adam was a brother that did the work for the Lord. You understand? Adam was a brother the Lord chose to give that breath of life to. So now mankind could thrive. You understand? I could thrive. The Lord don't want you to be on the damn earth just having sex with anything with a hole in it, getting high all day. He wants you to go conquer neurology. You ever thought about being an engineer? Go be an engineer, brother. Go be a damn go be a pediatric neurosurgeon. Go be a nuclear engineer. Go be a quantum physicist. Go be a computer engineer. Go be some physician. Go conquer whatever you need to conquer. That's going to benefit the Most High, glorify the Most High's name, and benefit your people. Don't be some cat that just gets high all day with your rod and everything. Be a man that conquers something. Be somebody that's sentient. That's what the Lord wants for you. The Lord didn't want mankind to just go around being high all day and just putting their rod in any hole. No, brother, no. He gave Adam the breath of life to do what? To go make algebra. You understand that? To go do the things that give mankind technological advances like artificial intelligence. How come Jake couldn't invent artificial intelligence? Why couldn't we do something like that? You know why? Because we're too busy being the kind of people that were on earth before Adam was risen up and got the breath of life. That's what we've become. We're so base that all we need is food, clothes, shelter, and sex. Just like an animal. An animal don't need clothes, but he needs food, he needs water, and he just needs sex. Blacks and Hispanics are just animals. That's all we become under the Christian leadership, under the Christian church's leadership. That's who we are. Sex and clothes and shelter and food. That's not what the Lord wants for you, you understand? The Lord would rather you be a pediatric neurosurgeon. That's what he would want for you. He would rather you go to school to go conquer something that's going to glorify his name and to benefit your people. And that's why he gave Adam the breath of life, so mankind could thrive. Mankind could be perfect and thrive with no harm, no murders, no murderers, no rapes, no rapists. Just a perfect society. Think about a society that have blacks and Hispanics in charge, and there is no such thing as child molestation. There is no such thing as child support. There is no such thing as black people fighting and arguing in the middle of the street, getting the cops called on you. Think about a family you grow up in where you know your mother and your father, and they both love each other. They never argue in front of you. They always loving each other. They make beautiful babies that are smart and well educated, that conquer everything, that can just go and be a pediatric neurosurgeon. Think about that life. Think about a life where you could send, like in slavery, where the slave master could send his son off to school to some Harvard or some imagine a black university like Harvard, and he gets to come home, and now he gets to take over the business that you left to him. He gets to marry the daughter the woman that you want your son to marry, and he gets to raise a beautiful family. And then on your deathbed, at 150 years old, at 125 years old, you get to see all the generations of your children and children's children's children. And on your deathbed, you die in some castle somewhere in Tajikistan, full of acres and acres of land, with beautiful family, with your wife right there holding your hand and your son holding your other hand. And you are able to bless each son like Jacob did, like Israel did, with an inheritance that you worked for. Imagine that life, Ak. Imagine that instead of your sons and daughters hating you when they get older. Instead of you getting old and die of cancer at 65. Imagine you live an amazing, beautiful, healthy life at 150. And then you pass away, and in your passing eyes, as your eyes get weary and you start to close those eyes and your skin is wrinkly, imagine you give those blessings to your sons and you give them to your daughters, and you just bless them and you tell them how much of good sons and daughters they were and how much you love them. And then they tell you, Daddy, we loved you this much. And then your great-grandkids say, Great-granddaddy, Pop, we love you this much. We love you, Grandpa. We love you, so-and-so. We love you. We love you. Lord be with you. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Brakatham. Yahweh Shemar Lathan Bahashim Yahweh Shah. And then you close your eyes and then you pass away in peace and in harmony and in love, surrounded by love from all of the people that loved you and that you loved. Brother, that is heaven. That is heaven, Ak. That is what we are fighting for in the Israelite School UPK. To receive the thing that we never got and our forefathers never received. That's what we're fighting for, Ak. You understand? That's heaven, brother. And that's what we're going to get when Christ returns. You understand? With that, I imagine, stand. So like. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Put this side over first. The other side. There you go. There you go. All right, most of them, Chris. All right. It's wild. Okay. This way. Sar. All right, Sar. You're going to have your left hand over your chest, right hand fully extended. You know what to say. La Yashala.
La Shala.
La Yashala. You go ahead and take a drink. All right. Sar. Sar. Mahajim, everybody stand. All right, Wapanya Wadam, which means to rise and face the east. You got it? All right, rise and face the east. All right, boy, we're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayah.
Shabbat Shemayah.
Wadash.
Wadash.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Malakwatka.
Malakwaka.
Gabaa.
Gabaa.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baharataza.
Baharataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Bashamayim.
Bashamayim.
Lathalanawa.
Lathalanawa.
Lakham.
Lakham.
Kau.
Kau.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalakhlanawa.
Wasalakhlanawa.
Kawawapnawa.
Kawawapnawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kawawapyanawa.
Kawawapyanawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabayanawa.
Banasayawan.
Banasayawan.
Abal.
Awashayanawa.
Awashayanawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amalakwa.
Amalakwa.
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
Iwalamyam.
Iwalamyam.
Aman.
Aman. In English, our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not.
Into temptation.
Into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us
from evil.
From evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. Hakat, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Babakashah.
Babukusha.
Nathalanawa.
Nathalanawa.
Hakat.
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 La'apa'ah.
La'apa'ah.
Kal Makala.
Kal Makala.
Kal Marawa.
Kal Marawa.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Latahar.
Latahar.
Amatazariah.
Amatazariah.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Lahakwi.
Lahakwi.
Hamathia.
Hamathia.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Awakawa.
Awakawa.
Atama'ala.
Atama'ala.
Agarshan.
Agarshan.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
The Wada Aman.
The water Aman. In the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please
give
us the power.
Give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of disease. Salakia. All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasha'ala.
Wayasha'ala.
Waha.
Waha.
Bayat Sapari.
Bayat Sapari.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
The Wada Aman.
The water Aman. What we just said in English was Yahweh in the name of Yahushua. Bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ahahari.
Ahahari.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'ayin. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shemaiah.
Shemaiah.
Baharataza.
Baharataza.
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Al-Yanawam.
Al-Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hana.
Hana.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yayashan.
Yayashan.
Shawamar.
Shawamar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Al-Yad.
Al-Yad.
Yamyaka.
Yamyaka.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yakai.
Yakaka.
Wayara.
Wayara.
Malayala.
Malayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka.
Nakalra.
Nakalra.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Afnapashka.
Afnapashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Tazak.
Tazak.
Wabaak.
Wabaak.
Maita.
Maitha.
Ma'ai.
Ma'ai.
Awalam.
Awalam.
Aman.
Aman. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold.
Behold.
He that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
From all evil.
From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Al Damayalaka.
Al Damayalaka.
Al Thakarash.
Al Thakarash.
Al Tashakwat.
Al Tashakwat.
Al Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Awayabyaka.
Awayabyaka.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yawan.
Wamashanayaka.
Wamashanayaka.
Nashawa.
Nashawa.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Aimaka.
Al-Aimaka.
Yarayamwa.
Yarayamwa.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Wayatayai Tazawa.
Wayatayai Tazawa.
Al Tazap Pawanyaka.
Al Tazap Pawanyaka.
Amawa.
Amawa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakira.
Wanakakira.
Magoya.
Magoya.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yashala.
Sham Yashala.
Aiwad.
Aiwad.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawa'ai Tazawa.
Nawa'ai Tazawa.
Lab. Hadwa.
Yakhadwa.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Barya.
Barya.
Yakarafwa.
Yakarafwa.
Alahaya.
Ahalya.
So like Ahalya.
Ahalya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashamaoya.
Wayashamaoya.
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagaryam.
Wahagaryam.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Waimawan.
Waimawan.
Waimalah.
Waimalah.
Palashah.
Palashah.
I'm Yashabia.
I'm Yashabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gamashawar.
Gamashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Haimam.
Haimam.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zarawad.
Zarawad.
Nabanyalawat.
Nabanyalawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Lahom.
Lahom.
Kamadian.
Kamadian.
Kasayasara.
Kasayasara.
Kayabian.
Kayabian.
Wanakal.
Wanakal.
Yashwan.
Yashwan.
Nashamadu.
Nashamadu.
Bayanda Ara.
Bayanda Ara.
Ayawa.
Ayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
Adama.
Adama.
Shayadama.
Shayadama.
Nadiyamwa.
Nadiyamwa.
Gaira.
Gaira.
Wakazaba.
Wakazaba.
Wakazabah.
Wakazabah.
Wakazalmanai.
Wakazalmanai.
Kalnasaya Kamwa.
Kalnasaya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amawa.
Amawa.
Nayarashah.
Nayarashah.
Nawa.
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 Alahaya.
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 Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Kagagala.
Kagagala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Kapanyaraka.
Panyaraka.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Gaba'i Yara.
Gaba'i Yara.
Wakalahaba.
Wakalahaba.
Galahat.
Galahat.
Aryam.
Aryam.
Khan.
Khan.
Daradapma.
Daradapma.
Basa'arika.
Basa'arika.
Wabasawapatha.
Wabasawapatha.
Dabahalom.
Dabahalom.
Mala'a.
Mala'a.
Panyom.
Panyom.
Walawan.
Walawan.
Wayabakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahawa.
Wayabahawa.
Aidiyai.
Aidiyai.
Wayakapar.
Wayakapar.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayadaiwa.
Wayadaiwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Atha.
Atha.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labadka.
Labadka.
Ow.
Ow.
Yawan.
Yawan.
Ow.
Ow.
How.
Call.
Ratazah.
Ratazah.
Aman.
Aman in English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy
And
peace.
be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
thine
thine enemies make a tumult.
enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the
They
head.
have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off from being a
And
nation.
let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel
That the
may be
name
no
of
more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel may be no more in
For
remembrance.
they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal.
Gabal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asa also is joined with them.
Asa also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kasam.
At the brook of Kasam.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a Oreb.
Make their nobles like a red.
And like Zeb.
And like Zeb.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes.
All their princes.
As Zabah.
As Zabah.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who said. Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And trouble forever.
And trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That thou.
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it.
Sar, which means to turn. Alright. You gonna blow the horn, right, Sean? Men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Sar, which means to turn. Yah Bashim Yah Shabrak Yah. Sar, turn. Sar, face Elisha.
Yah by Shimei Shabrak, Yah.
Sorry. Go ahead, like shake, bro. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Aimadim Shabbat, Aimadim, Barak, Yah Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham, Yajimatah, Sar, face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Aimadim Shabbat, Aimadim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'Shem Yahushua, Yajimatah, dismissed.